Unmute camera.
Don't go. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going. I'm just sitting there.
Morning, Chair.
Good morning, Advocate Kebu. How are you?
I'm okay. Hope you're fine. I've got a
Oh,
sleep.
you look very well. It's like you are in Mauritius for a holiday.
No, Chair, I'm with Madiba. Here you can see his behind me.
Which Madiba?
My background is Parliament. Next to the background is the Parliament with
Okay.
Morning.
When are we meeting, ma'am? Can we meet next week sometime for our other committee?
Yes, Chair, I tried to inquire. The problem now is that it's constituency.
Oh, it's recess. Okay, no, that's fine. No, it's fine. Mapula, do you want to say something? Mapula? Advocate Webu? Advocate?
Yes, Chair, I'm here. I'm here, Chair.
Are we ready to start?
Maybe we can wait a few minutes, maybe just a minute or two. I'm looking at the numbers.
Okay.
But yeah, let's wait maybe a minute or two, Chair.
Okay.
Thobela Mshat. Thobela Mshat. Thobela Mshat.
The chair is on mute.
Oh, the chair is on mute.
Yes.
Oh, how are you?
Mshate, ke re le iphitlhile kae ha re sa le tseba?
No, re ona Mshat.
No.
Sa tebeletse tsa mvezo hore di ya yang.
You are leading by example there. We are always watching with concern because many of us and the rest of the country can learn from there.
No, Rale
We were just discussing.
Yeah.
the whole country places reliance on you to keep that legacy moving in the right direction.
We can only try to keep our best going.
Oh, we'll appreciate that always.
Thank you, Chair.
Advocate Gwebu. Advocate Gwebu. Advocate.
Chairperson, yeah, I think we can start, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable members, parliamentary team, members of the media, we would like to welcome you to this session. But allow me, in opening my opening remarks, to say that from the outset, all members of this ad hoc committee departed from the premise that our parliamentary system is a representative and participatory system, and that public representatives do not have the monopoly of wisdom and must therefore involve the public in all legislative processes. This means that public participation is a constitutional imperative. In cases where the Concord found public participation wanting, it overturned the decisions of Parliament. In its work, this ad hoc committee was guided by both the Constitution, the court decisions, and the rules of Parliament. Thus, the process started with a consultative workshop, including all stakeholders and interested parties. The draft constitutional amendment bill was agreed to by all the parties as a point of departure for public hearings. When concerns were raised that the bill was published during the festive period, we extended the period for written submissions. Despite the interruptions caused by the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, we conducted successful public hearings in all 9 provinces. During the public hearings and in some written submissions, some submitters requested a further opportunity to amplify their submissions. This was allowed. Last but not least, we allowed interested ministers to appear before us and make their submissions. All affected ministers did appear before us and make their submissions. Honorable members and the public will agree with me that we have conducted successful public hearings in terms of the Constitution and the court decisions and the rules of Parliament. A report on public participation was prepared and presented to this committee. After extensive debates, the report was adopted as a living or working document pending the finalization of oral submissions. At the last sitting, we finalized the public hearing processes and requested the administration to prepare a consolidated report for consideration and adoption at today's meeting. The report was circulated on Tuesday to enable the members to study it, to enable us to adopt it with or without amendments this morning. The adoption of this report will open the door for us to begin with the consideration of the draft amendment bill based on the public inputs and submissions by government departments. In my view, this second phase may require a week or so to allow members of this committee to return to their principals to seek mandates on the text of the bill. I therefore propose that after the adoption of the report this morning, we look at the program. In my view, it would be reasonable to give honorable members time to seek mandates from their principals. I therefore propose that the deliberations of the text begin on the 5th May. This will give us sufficient time to conclude the work of this ad hoc committee by the 21st of May. Honorable members, seeing that all of you have received the report on time as promised, and studied it, we propose that we don't ask the administration, Dr. Tuli Siwe, to represent the report, because what we are interested in today is the additions which have been effected following the conclusion of the public hearings on Friday last week. So there's not much that actually needs to be done to the report. So with your permission, honorable members, I want to suggest that I open the floor for those who want to comment on the additions to the report, and we engage with those additions and make sure that they reflect your understanding, so that we can then proceed to adopt these reports with or without amendments. That would be my take on the matters. Anyone who has a different view? Any hand? Okay, I see the hand of, let me see, Dr. Lotri.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you and good morning. Chair, are you only asking for comments now in terms of your proposal, or comments on the report that we have and the additions that we have received?
No, my proposals will come right at the end. For now, let's focus on the report. As I said, after adopting the report, then we'll deal with the way forward, and then we can deal with my proposal.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I have studied the report, and thank you to the staff who have prepared it. There are, however, a few concerns. I have compared the content in the report and the way in which the presentations are portrayed against my own notes, as well as the written parts of certain submitters' submissions to the committee. And I have to say that I do find quite a few gaps. Many things were not included. And I think what is important, Chair, is that for this committee to honestly apply its mind, and as you stated quite correctly earlier, that we don't have all the knowledge and power. We do have to make also rely on the public's experience, their knowledge, their expertise. If I look at the additions of the oral submissions, it's quite clear that some are very extensively reported on in this report, and some are afforded 1 or 2 paragraphs, and that does not tally with the actual presentations and the time spent. An additional issue that I picked up is that in some instances, presenters were stopped after 15 minutes and they couldn't present the rest of their submissions, indicating that they were under the impression that they could talk for 30 minutes. So we're missing out on a part of that. Now, Chair, I want to propose, in the interest of thoroughness and inclusiveness, that those submitters, and there aren't that many, also have written submissions that they submitted, and also it also accompanied their presentations. They just couldn't get through it. That we attach those as annexures to this report for the sake of completeness. There are many things, for example, if I just look at the BASA one, it's a few paragraphs. Now, BASA has made an extensive submission, which isn't also properly captured at all in the section on the written submissions. And I don't think we're achieving anything by trying to exclude things. I think we should rather err on the side of being too exclusive and including all the different arguments to enable us to make thorough decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lotrich. Any other? I don't see another hand. Comrade Honorable LESOMA.
Chair, so that also there's a clear that what would you summarize? Probably let me greet all honorable members, colleagues, and thank you very much, Honorable Chair, for the opportunity. I think one will welcome and appreciate the progressive, positive stance that Dr. Lotri have just demonstrated now, so that we can move forward. To say, I will tend to agree with her to say, let's adopt, because we must appreciate one, Chair, that the drafters of the report, they've done a very sterling job, but also they've done humanly possible within their means to capture everything, but also they would not necessarily capture each and every in everybody's satisfaction. Two, Chair, is that when the program was circulated for us to engage with the stakeholders, it was set up front clearly that it will be, there were specific time frames in terms of time allocated. However, we couldn't be a straight jacket where we are going to exactly to deal with that. So probably I think also the unequal time allocation that was given was not intentional. It didn't mean anything bad, but also having an advantage that they have in any event submitted their written submissions, that they were going to talk through them. To say then the attachment won't do any problem, I would say I agree with that. But also say if there are any other fundamental issues that a member feels that the report won't be complete if that point that was raised by one of the stakeholders is not factored in, they are mostly welcome. But in summary, Chair, I say the progressive approach that let's also attach those presentations to the report will also give a fullness and completeness of the views and the points that were made during oral submissions. I would say that with that, let's adopt the report so that we can move forward, and then we allow then which we are going to make in at the end, so that we can start dealing through our internal consultation. Then we start dealing with the text as it were. But I'm formally moving for the adoption with the attachments as suggested, Chair. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lodrick and Dr. Honorable LESOMA. I think both of you are really taking us forward. But before we consider the proposal for adoption, allow me to recognize Honorable Dr. Ndlozi and Honorable Gumede. Dr. Ndlozi.
Thanks, Chairperson. I wonder, Chairperson, procedurally, if it's a requirement for this document to be adopted, particularly because it posits itself as going to serve as a resource for deliberations. It's like if we were in a committee and our secretariat or researchers prepared a resource document in relation to some departmental report or some departmental issue, which we don't have to necessarily agree on in a form of adopting it, but we use it as a resource for our deliberations. I wonder if that could be the approach, in which case the agreement is that we really now have the resource document, and then we should move to deliberations on the actual things that we need to adopt, which is the line of the wording of the bill and so on and so forth. I wonder if that can be the approach, because there could never be a complete capture in the true sense of the word of what happened. And if we were all there, we will have different opinions of having heard these people. We're going to hear them from different points of view, from different experiences. Is it really a fundamental necessity for us to agree and adopt that this is what this one said, this is what this one said? Except, of course, the actual numbers. There, it's a mathematical, factuality that 12,000 people spoke, and out of 12,000 people, this number of people supported the bill. That serves as a resource for us then to go and deliberate and ultimately adopt. I wonder, with your guidance, Chairperson, before you call for the mover and the adopter and all those things, if this can be the approach. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Ndlozi. Before I express myself on the matter, let me hear Honorable Gumede and Honorable LESOMA. Honorable Gumede.
Chair, good morning to all members and good morning to you as well.
Good morning to you, Honorable Gumede.
Yes, I hear a view, but I'm more inclined to say, let us adopt the report, as much as I take into cognizance what Dr. Ndlozi is saying. But at the very same time, I want to say to him, all the adopted reports are resource documents. What we are trying to do here is to make this report an official report. We don't want a situation, from my own understanding, where a person says that he has quoted or resourced the information from the document, and the document that is not official, the document that has not been accepted or adopted as our working document or a research document. It is just on those bases, from my point of view, that if we are all satisfied that this document does give a proper reflection of what exactly happened, yes, we may go ahead and say, yes, we adopt it. It has no serious implications on the matter. But Chair, I want to caution as well that at times it may not be seen as shifting the goalpost. I have an understanding when the people that were presenting to us, the submitters in this instance, came to present, they left documents of what they were presenting to us. They officially left them with the administration. Only if the attachments are those documents, yes, I agree. But if we accept the notion, go ask those people to resubmit or submit, which will mean then they will again start drafting, we may find ourselves having to get a new or a refreshed kind of a submission. That is what I'm saying. Let's monitor it closely, that it's not a resubmission. Secondly, that I am of the opinion that they did leave their presentations when they were before us doing their presentations. Otherwise, Chair, I accept the adoption, as well as understand what Dr. Ndlozi is saying, but on the basis of using it as a research document, it's very good that it must be an official document, hence it must be adopted. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Gumede. Honorable LESOMA.
Chairperson,
Probably
my
I
apologies.
might.
My apologies, Chair. They are requesting members to switch on their videos when they talk.
Yes, please, honorable members.
Okay, we shall do after this, Honorable Chair. Thank you very much for the opportunity, because it tempers with the audibility, and unfortunately, Honorable Chair, but nevertheless, we'll do that after. But I just wanted my apology to Dr. Ndlozi that I didn't explain why I was moving for that. Is that the report reads on top as the heading, Report on Public Participation on the 18 Constitutional Amendments. So it's not our issues, it's what the public would have said to us. But also what, in line with what you're saying, if we recall, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, in our engagement with the two public participation processes, the written and the public hearings one, the last paragraph, where Honorable Kaba did state that it should state that is the true recordings of the public participation processes. Probably what can be done by administration is that to take that last paragraph on the first report and put it at the end so that it sum up and give the substance and legal standing what Dr. Ndlozi is raising. So I think that one is covered. It's just that it needs to be brought to the last paragraph of the actual document that we're looking at, because we're looking at it as one public participation processes, as it were, Chair. The other one, Chair, not necessarily responded to Honorable Gumede, but it's given that the presenter's presentation was circulated to us. We know what was circulating, and also we've got a very comfortable confidence to the administration that they will use those documents. And Dr. Lottery also, she didn't refer to say we must ask them, because they did submit those, what they were going to present to us. Nothing, Chair, and I'm sure that we'll make sure that it doesn't happen that way, because even the attachments will cross-check to what we have and then will be circulated to all of us. So I still would like to move, as I indicated earlier on, Chair, with those explanation that I believe that I'm correct in terms of the true recordings, as it were, Chair. And the heading also covers that, Chair. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, I don't see any other hand. Let me then proceed with your permission, because they both agree that all we need are attachments, because it would really not be humanly possible to factor in everything in a report. Otherwise, we'll end up with a report of 2,000 pages. So the two honorable members agree. But I want to qualify what they say with what Honorable Gumede has said. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, Chair, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I want to qualify what Honorable LESOMA and Honorable Dr. Lodrick say by what Honorable Gumede has said. That, okay, submit attachments are okay, but there would be no resubmissions. So we are not expecting anybody from anywhere, any quarter, to submit any document. The attachments will be attachments of the documents which the submitters left with us after their presentation. And that's how what I understand Honorable Gumede to be saying, and I fully agree with him. Now, Honorable Ndlozi has raised fundamental questions, but I think again, Honorable Gumede has assisted us in that regard, that all resource documents are official documents. So for us to use this document as a resource document, we must first officialize it, because otherwise somebody can come later and say, we used an unofficial document to decide on official business. So in this regard as well, I want to really agree with Honorable Gumede and say to Honorable Dr. Ndlozi that we should not fear that, we have not captured everything that people said, because everything which was said was recorded verbatim. So if at any point anybody can challenge that there's something that we left out, we can go to our recording and prove that there's nothing which was submitted which we did not consider. So I think that we are covered, Honorable Ndlozi and others who maybe took your view, which is an important view, that we shouldn't fear because the word for word recordings are there. Nothing will fall off the crack. But important for us today is that we need to adopt this report as an official document of this committee, and therefore nobody can say we are using unofficial documents. So therefore I want to say there is a proposal for the adoption. Is there any counter proposal? And I said also that adoption of this report opens the gate for us now to go into real work, because our real work is not the document itself, is the bill, because the official document will inform our debates on the draft bill. Now we must now move to debating the bill. Otherwise, this process would be futile. Honorable Dr. Flodrick.
Thank you, Chairperson. Just a question for clarity. You referred earlier that there are presentations that were received by the staff, and you also said that it could be circulated. Can I just have the confirmation that some we might have missed, but that everything that is now will be circulated to members will then form part of this report as a resource document?
We can do that subject to what Honorable Gumede said, that the submitters who appeared before us left documents, and members, honorable members, are entitled to copies of those documents. So I think we can accede to your request. Thank you. Any counter motion to the motion by Honorable LESOMA? So we all agree to adopt this report unanimously. I thank you, honorable members. The report is duly adopted as an official document of this meeting. With your permission, I want to go back to the proposal that I made.
Excuse me, Chairperson, maybe for completeness, maybe we should have a move as chair and the second of.
Thank you, honorable advocate. That's the correct way to do it, and thank you for reminding me.
Correct, Chair.
Yes.
Chair.
Yes, honorable Gumede.
Honorable Chair.
Yes.
Honorable LESOMA did move, and I seconded.
Thank you, Honorable Gumede, for expediting the matters. Honorable LESOMA, is that an order?
No, it's in order, Chair. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think Honorable Gumede covered the loophole that had arisen. There's a motion, any counter motion? There's no counter motion, and therefore this report is adopted as an official report of this ad hoc committee, and it will serve as a resource document in our deliberation on the bill itself. And honorable members,
I'm not too sure whether I'm the only one who can't hear the chair. I can't hear.
No, we all can't hear. We're all experiencing the same problem. The chair seems to not be audible anymore.
May I request Advocate Gwebu that you ask him to log in and off and come back again. I think the network will be fine, because otherwise he's talking to himself.
Okay, we're trying.
Honorable members.
We can hear you, Honorable Mashat. Well, while we are still waiting for the chair, I think he's coming back now.
Honorable members, I would like to make a proposal, because seemingly this is seems to be a weekly problem with the network of the chair. That we nominate an acting chairperson whilst he tries to reconnect. Advocate Gwebu.
We can't nominate the chair, we have to elect one.
Yeah, I think maybe that needs to be discussed in the presence of the chair. It makes sense to me.
I would suggest, Honorable Mahlati, as Advocate Gwebe have said, probably let's do that. Let's just be patient a little bit. He will come back, and then moving forward, then we know that we've got a backup, as it were.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Sam.
Honorable Gwebe, did you manage to get hold of the chair?
I'm on the phone.
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to get hold of him. I'm on the phone.
Dr. Tuli, in the absence, because it's taking some time, what we do, noting what correctly Advocate Gwebe have raised as well, which is very important, because there was almost we're about to finish. I think he was making his closing remarks. If we can guide us so that we can not just be stuck and waiting, not knowing for how long.
Oh, okay, thank you, Chair. Let me just switch on my video. What is normally done is really to follow the procedures in terms of the election of the chairperson in the committee for this part, and then we continue with the meeting. That would be the procedure to follow. Thank you.
Good morning. Okay.
Is he on the line? Let me just talk to him. Okay. Advocate Gwebi, you may speak. I've just spoken to him.
Remember, I spoke to the chair. He's asking Honorable LESOMA to change the meantime. My view is that there will be no need to elect the chair, because the chair is not like he is absent, he is there. Like in a normal meeting, sometimes the chair can walk out and ask any other member to chair while maybe he's gone out for maybe for a short time, because he's in the meeting. So he's asking Honorable LESOMA to chair, but he was also proposing that what he was saying before he got cut off was that from today, since we have adopted the report, we give members up until the 3rd of May to caucus and to solicit further views. And then from the 5th of May, we start deliberating on the bill.
Okay, thank you, Advocate Gwebu. Honorable members, that comes to a conclusion. Safe to say that on next Friday, we'll be meeting to look at all the minutes that we have received. I'll urge members to go through the minutes so that if there's anything that needs to be corrected, and we'll email it so that in the next Friday meeting, then we can go day by day of the minutes and adopt them as the true reflection of our deliberations. And I will urge that those members who are present in those meetings, they make sure that also they do attend so that they can contribute in the adoption of the minutes. And the last point as an announcement is what the Advocate Gwebu is that we will then after next Friday, reassemble on the 5th, then to look at the actual work, principal work of this committee. With that, and let's, on behalf of the chair, thank everybody. And also thus far, we've conducted our business in a way that makes South Africans proud. And the meeting stands adjourned, honorable members. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Long live the chair. Thank you.
Honorable members, the chair is just logging in, but I think since it's urgent, I don't know, maybe you wanted to say something.
Honorable LESOMA.
Unmuted the mics.
Chairperson, Honorable LESOMA adjourned the meeting, but she did indicate that we will convene on the 5th for the consideration of the bill, and further that next week we'll meet to adopt all the outstanding minutes.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's what we wanted. Okay, thank you very much as well for managing this meeting so well. Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Dr.